Hello, Brobs. I know I just bought all these books the other day, but that's what happens when your workplace splits your days off in half, or not in half, but separates them by a day. So I had to go on a second run to the normal thrift store I go to, and that's what I found. Shitload of books. And also this nice little vintage glass. Not to mention that the one thrift store I usually get most of my books at, I average, I'd say, 13 a week at that place. They also seem to have a slow trickle of tarot type cards. And I pick them up. This one I think I got for $4. I don't see the price, but yeah, I think it was $4. Anyway, let's get on to the books. Helter Skelter, the world's #1 true crime bestseller, by the co-author of Shadow of Cain. Obviously, you know it's about Charles Manson. And the Beatles wrote the song by that name, so blah, blah, blah. Simon and Sue Lilly's Essential Guide to Crystals. I don't give a fuck about crystals, but since I do, look at that. That makes a nice design on the wall. Can you see that? You can't see it. Maybe you can see it. No, you can't. You can't see the... That's ridiculous that the... You sort of can see it. It's ridiculous that my camera sucks so bad you can't look. It's even rotating. Whatever, you can't see the shadow. You can barely see a glare, but you can't see the huge shadow? That's bullshit. How is that possible? You can't see that shadow. It's incredible that this doesn't show up on the camera. Oh, yeah. Since I collect paranormal books and I guess you could call alternative medicine, new age books, I picked these up and never opened a single one. But there it is. This one's for me child. I just sent my child a whole box of Pokemon books that I collect up and send along when I have enough. Exciting times. Normally I don't buy many art books, but there's certain ones I do buy. Anything by Dali, Munch, Rouault, and a few others I'll buy. This one's kind of obviously 75 masterpieces of modern art. 50 cents is, I think it retailed for $100. It was close. 40. But yeah. Never go wrong with that. I don't like that guy. Fuck that guy. Alright, what's this? This is just a cat journal, but... One more time. Yeah, just blank that cat journal. Assault on the Liberty, the true story of the Israeli attack on an American intelligence ship. Never heard of it, but seems to be worth 12 or 13 buckish on eBay, and I plan to sell it. In June 1967, jet aircraft and motor torpedo boats of Israel brutally assaulted an American naval vessel, the USS Liberty, in international waters off the Sinai Peninsula. As I said, I don't like books on warfare. This one does have a crease to the spine, though, so that will reduce its value. But I hope if I can get $10 for it, that will pay for basically all the 13 books I bought at the one place. Let's see where we'll start. We'll just start here. This is the best find of the yesterday's. Well, actually, it's 2 days ago now. It was Thursday. Devil Dogs by, I think it's George Carpenter. I tried to take the 19 sticker off, but it pulls the gloss off, so I don't want to ruin the book. That's fucking brilliant. Attack and Guard Dog Training. That's brilliant. What year is this from? Dedicated to my son, Jeff. 1979. This is a classic. I'm going to have to read this in the YouTube channel. How to Teach Your Dog to Come. Great Dane. Awful pictures, but like I said, this is from 79, so... Anyways, great find. Where else are you going to find this book? Probably nowhere. I looked it up on eBay, and there wasn't a single copy, but I haven't looked it up on bookfinder.com yet. This is another book I plan to sell. Mary Oliver. I used to play Scrabble with this old lady, and she loved Mary Oliver. And I don't know if she gave me a Mary Oliver book or what, but I remember looking her up one time, and she has a good resale value. So every time I see a Mary Oliver poem book I can get for less than like $1, I get it. As most of her books tend to go for like $7 to $15. Yeah, so yeah. Emily Dickinson. Sorry, I drank 2 beers earlier. Finally sobering up from 2 beers. Emily Dickinson. God damn, what a small font that is to read to a phone. Today, Emily Dickinson is gaining her deserved, I'm pretty sure she has her deserved place, and Walt Whitman wasn't that good. In fact, Emily was better than Walt. Oh, this was in 1986, so I'm sure it's a little bit later edition. No, it says First American Edition, 1996. Did that say 96 or 86? Hallucinating. Elucidating and hallucinating. No, that's 86. This book looks great. Cults in America. I have about 5 or 6 books on cults. A brilliant study of an important phenomenon. A classic by Elizabeth Janey. Cults in America, Program for Paradise, Willa Appel. Why is the United States currently experiencing the greatest proliferation of cults in its history? What attracts people to cults? What needs do they satisfy the institutions neglect? What year is this? 93, 83. Great shape for a hardcover. This is a book that is badly needed. This book raises fundamental questions about the relationship. Great. The Invisible War, the panorama of the continuing conflict between good and evil. Donald Gray Barnhouse. This one has some resale value, so There you go. There goes that resale value. Lucifer ruined it. That son of a bitch. No, I like to collect doomsday books. I consider them as paranormal as so-called. I guess this will go in my Satan and the Devil collection, which like I said, I consider it as much paranormal as ghosts and vampires and that. Mayakovsky, Vladimir Mayakovsky, The Bedbug and Selected Poetry. I mostly just like the cover. The book isn't worth all that much, probably $4 or $5, but paid less than $1 for it. And it's bilingual. Didn't really read any of the poems, but I may read The Bedbug on my channel. What's The Bedbug? A short story, I assume? Maybe I'll read it. Selected Poetry, The Bedbug, 241. How many pages are in this book? Probably get a copyright strike against me if I do. The Bedbug. Alright, that's that. The Boy Who Saw Bigfoot by Marion T. Place. Scholastic weekly reader's book. Not too long. I don't have many Bigfoot books, but I probably have 5 to 10 of them. Half of them are probably children's books and fiction. Yeah, cool cover. Letters from Sicily, a Northern Exposure book. I don't know how many Northern Exposure books there are. I remember the show being on the TV. Dear Jeff, so you found me. Lots of woods. I remember watching the show once or twice and boring as shit. But I usually have a certain quota of amount of books that I'll buy. And since it was only 60 cents, I got it. It does have a little moisture exposure to it, but that's that. The Ghost on Saturday Night by Sid Fleischman, author. I'm pretty sure I have another book by Fleischman somewhere. And it's not called this. See if I can find it. Maybe it's The Ghost of Saturday. Maybe it is that. No, I think I have Mr. Mysterious and Company. Yes, I think that is what I have. I have quite a few so-called paranormal children's lit. An Exaltation of Larks, or The Venereal Game by James Lipton. You know that guy that used to be on that one show. PBS. The hell was that show? A book show or music show or whatever it was. I have a hardcover of this. I think it's a hardcover. Yeah, I do believe it's a hardcover. Maybe he's the movie guy. What's his show called? I don't know, but this is a cool book. It's just a list of different... No, maybe it ain't a list. What the hell is this mouse doing? I thought it was a list of... What the hell is this? Oh yeah, it is just tells you about like a flock of birds, a pod of seals, a kindle of kittens, and then it just gives you some kind of information on it. Could have swore it was lists, a bevy of beauties. This is one of the few venereal terms whose origin is uncertain. Partridge marks it OOO of obscure origin, but hazards the guess that it derives from the old French bevy, a drink or drinking. I don't even know what it said. I didn't really even read it. This book I already have, but it's a local book. It's somewhat valuable if you can sell it. It's local history, but it's pretty hard to find. I saw one listed for $80. I'll take 50 for it. This might be a better copy than the actual copy I have. But like I said, I'll always pick up local history. If I can't sell some bitch, what's this? Let's see what that says. Hillside Cemetery. Denton Road, Van Buren. I think I've been there. There's supposedly some kind of thing by Denton Sis. I think there was supposed to be a ghost there or a witch or some shit. Yeah, it's a great vintage book. Speaking of vintage books, we go into a little segment of vintage books. Normally I buy 13 books at the one sale, or at the one thrift store I go to, but this time they had a bunch of these old trade paperback literature sort of books. This one's Symbolism and American Literature. And I couldn't pass up the extra two, so I got them. There was more, but they were marked up. Gerald Van Dusen, University of Wyoming. It's got a segment on Melville, I think Poe, Usual Suspects. Probably Hawthorne. Yeah, Hawthorne, Whitman, Melville, Poe, Prospectus. This book I've never heard of, but there were a bunch of sold copies, not of this edition, but of The Monk by Matthew G. Lewis. Oh, introduction by John Berryman. That's cool. Did not know that. The Monk is one of the authentic prodigies of English fiction, a book in spite of various crudeness so good that even after a century and a half, it is possible to consider it unhistorically, and yet it has never quite become a standard novel. Maybe I'll read this on the channel before I sell it. It's a long book. Definitely interested in it for Berryman's input. See how much Berryman wrote about it. Quite a bit, actually. Jesus. The Monk is only incidentally a Gothic novel and owes its excellence to other qualities. This may go on the reading list. I like the cover. I like the font. I like the colors, whatever they may be, since I'm colorblind as hell. Wilson Follett, A Modern American Usage, a guide. Supposing this means English. Edited and completed by Jacques Barzoon. Back in the day, one of my friends was a devotee of Barzoon. Read a few pages of him and was never all that impressed with. Why does it just say see a different word? Is it like a maze? It is time we had an American book of usage grounded in the philosophy that the best in language, which is often the simplest, is not too good to be aspired to. Sorry, the font is hard to read in this dim light I have here. I ain't even trying to read this. Rabbit Redux, a novel by John Updike. There was this crazy girl I knew who, didn't this guy write a book like The Worm or something like that? What was it called? No. Maybe it was someone else. I'm thinking of someone else. Anyway, yeah, has nothing to do with her. I know Rabbit Run. Anyway, classic for 50 cents. In great shape. Couldn't pass it up. I think I'm thinking of John, what's his name, Fowles? Is it John Fowles? That's who I'm thinking of that wrote The Worm, or whatever it's called. Language in the Inner City, Studies in the Black English Vernacular. This book looked great until I opened it, and there's like formulas. As you can hear, the spine's just snapping. Like I said, it's only 50 cents. This dude's got like graphs. Look at this. It's like fucking algebra. The nuclear stress rule. This is how much they put into some brother talking different. For the Cobra's jets, Oscar brothers, and adults, it appears that a preceding vowel favors contraction while exactly the opposite situation. Listen to this madness. Look at this. There's fucking charts and graphs. Because someone's speaking Ebonics. Look at this shit. This is madness. I couldn't pass it up. I put it back 3 times and I'm just like, no. Can't do it. Another weird thing keeps happening at the thrift stores. Just random women just come up and stand right next to me. I don't know if they're trying to flirt or... I don't think so. I think they're just trying to grab books, but they'll just stand next to me for like a minute and then they just leave. They like leave the store. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's happened at like 5 different places this week. Just some random woman just walked up and just stood next to me. Literally, right? Like shoulder to shoulder. I was like, get off me. The ancient giants who ruled America. The missing skeletons in the great Smithsonian cover-up. I mean, I think I paid $1 for this one at the Step thrift store. Yeah, I did. This is a $10 book. I didn't look it up, but Lapowinsa. Already at 24 minutes here. Close encounter of the fatal kind. Suspicious deaths, mysterious murders, and bizarre disappearances and UFO history. Nick Redfern. Another 99-cent book at the thrift store. Is this that British guy? Or am I thinking of a different guy? I think this is a different guy than the intelligence agency guy. I saw the UFOs. Yeah, I don't think this is the same dude. Who is that guy? He's always on Coast to Coast. Anyway, another for my Alien Encounters book. Emily Dickinson poems. You obviously know Emily Dickinson. I saw a fly by my eye when I was gonna die. Did the Harebell Loser girdle to the lover bee. Would the bee the harebell hollow, much as formerly? Did the paradise persuaded yield her mote of pearl? Would the Eden be an Eden, or the Earl an Earl? What the hell does that mean? He preached upon breath till it argued him narrow. Literary daughters. Maggie Lane. Whoa, almost lost her. Who do we cover? Fanny Burney, never heard of her. Maria Edgeworth, never heard of her. Charlotte Bronte, yes. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, yes. George Eliot, yes. Emily Dickinson, Beatrix Potter, and Virginia Woolf. 1989. Then came Bro's death. Is that what that said? Yeah. Then came Bro's death. The Age of Napoleon. I only bought this one because it regularly sells for about $15 to $20, so it's a hardcover minus the jacket, so I think it's vintage. What year? 75? Probably gonna sell it. Although it's pretty heavy. It cost me $6 or $7 to ship, so that probably decreases the value right there. The old split binding. 872 pages. Well, if I can't get 15 for it easily, then it's not worth it because it's heavy as hell. All right, last book. Most important one. This is the most interesting one of all. Who Killed Jane Stanford? A Gilded Age Tale of Murder, Deceit, Spirits, and the Birth of a University. Shouldn't it be an university? Richard White. From what I read, this woman, along with her sister, were very rich. Oh, here it is. In 1885, Jane and Leland Stanford, maybe it's not brother and sister, or sister and sister, co-founded the university to honor their recently deceased young son. I guess I'm wrong. It was a husband and wife. After her husband's death in 1893, Jane Stanford, a devoted spiritualist who expected the university to inculcate her values, steered Stanford into eccentricity and public controversy for more than a decade. In 1905, she was murdered in Hawaii, a victim, according to the Honolulu coroner's jury, of strychnine poisoning. With her vast fortune, the university's lifeline, the Stanford president and his allies quickly sought to foreclose challenges to her bequest by constructing a story of death by natural causes. Yeah. My mother will like this one. Plus, it's a new release. I'll just take the dust jacket off so she can't ruin it. Yeah, it's from 2022, so less than 2 years old. Richard White. Nice. So, roughly, how many books is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 31, 34, 37, 40, 43, 46, 50, 55, 60, 63 books bought in 1 week. I'm proud of myself. Mind you, I would say most of them were 50-cent books, so I'd say 50 of them were 50-cent books, so probably $30 for all these books. Maybe more. 30, $35 at the most. Not bad. Convinced you can build libraries for people for a few thousand. Anyway, that's all. Goodbye. I still can't believe you can't see that shadow up there. What's up with that? I mean, you can see the shadow go by. In real time, there's a pronounced shadow behind this glass. It just doesn't show up on the camera. Probably would on a good cell phone, but it's sad that you can't see it. I guess you can kind of see the little... It's just not as pronounced. All right, I sound like a crazy person. Goodbye, bruv. Goodbye.